Welcome to the Richard Schwartz and Associates Magnolia Field Studios. One call, that's all.
Back here from the Richard Schwartz and Associates Studios into some updated team predictions, Cody. We've got a lot to get to. Let's go ahead and dive in. South Pontotoc, an interesting case here early on. They're 2-2. They pick up a very, very close win against Bruce in week 1. They get thumped by Pontotoc 42-0 and will drop a close one to Moorville 17-14.
Well, the two teams we're about to go over, the one being South Pontotoc, our next one is Moorville, have some common opponents when you look at it and everything. So, yeah, like you said, 2-2. Week 3, not this past week, but the week before, they lost to Moorville by 3.
Yeah.
Moorville lost to Tisch County last week.
By 10.
By 10. South Pontotoc gets Tisch County this week.
Yeah, we're all playing each other here.
Yes, they are.
We're all playing each other here. So I mean, South, obviously, not the best year for them. I mean, you don't even put up points against Pontotoc, and I think North Pontotoc managed to at least find the end zone a couple times. So I look at the South Pontotoc team, and I think they still control their own destiny. Kind of, you're 500 going into week 5. You can come out of here 3-2 with some real momentum if you can beat Tisch. So that's no short order, as we've come to discover.
I'll throw it on you like you throw it on me. What is your prediction for that? Because they did lose to a team that Tisch just beat them by 10.
And look, I'm making this as a pick of reverse psychology at this point, because every time that I pick against Tisch, they win. So I'm going to do it
the entire season.
Yes, the entire season. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pick South Pontotoc, and my score prediction is going to be Tisch 42, South Pontotoc 35. Tell me how that makes sense.
It doesn't. Which is the point.
Which is the point. On into the next team. Let's talk a little bit about Moorville. They came into this one 3-0, riding high. Moorville, we were actually just watching some film on Max Preps a little bit ago. Man, they sling it. They throw it around the yard.
Yeah, and we just mentioned it. Only loss of the season has come last week to Tisch County, and I want to say that score was 40-30.
Yeah.
That 10-point loss, and quarterback Will McDaniels, I mean, 4 games into the season, 1,000 season pass yards.
He's already got 11 touchdown tosses. He's slinging it, dude. He's slinging it.
Hey, keep playing.
I want to see if we can make a Moorville game now, because I just want to watch somebody swing the pill.
Any high school quarterback that averages 250 yards in the air a game is a fun game to watch.
I want to watch. I want to watch.
We'll
get into some great quarterback play this week, and believe me,
we will.
Believe me, we've got an exciting last segment. But I mean, I look at this Moorville team. Anytime you kind of live and die with the arm of one guy, it's pretty tough. You still manage to put up points in this. When you put up 30, I think you need to expect a little more out of your defense. But I will say, Tishomingo County has always struggled in getting all the athletes at that school to play football. They've always had good athletes. Look at their baseball team. A couple years ago, they had a kid drafted who now plays for the Padres. There are athletes in those halls. The problem has always been they've had a hard time getting them to play football. And from what I've gathered over the last couple of weeks, this new coaching staff has finally got those guys bought in. And look at the production they're putting out. I mean, they just scored 40.
Props to the coaching staff for doing that. But, Tanner, the more I think about this situation, the more I think that you did your little I owe Tisch County something, not an apology, but something.
Yeah.
I think you do owe these other schools, such as MSSN and MaxxSouth, apologies.
For hyping them up so much?
For playing the game the way you have.
Well, that's fair. Tisch, I mean, look, MaxxSouth wasn't going to beat them either way with the way the offense is looking out there.
That was an overtime game, though.
It was an overtime game, but, man, I mean, the defense over at MaxxSouth is still really good. They just can't score it. It's kind of like Ripley. I mean, that game was 14-0. You tell me. So I look at that one, and Moorville, I think, is still going to be fun to watch. Could surprise a lot of people. We'll just have to see. They need more out of the defense.
Either that or Will McDaniel needs to have even more impressive games, but it doesn't get much more impressive than what he's doing.
He's throwing it around the yard. On into Independence, 3-1 on the year. I like this Independence squad. Big wins over Byhalia, Water Valley, and Biggersville. They get Strayhorn this week, looking to go 4-1.
And it was a pretty big win over Biggersville last week as well.
Yeah,
I mean, a 16-point win. So
I think Biggersville could be uncrowned this year from the way things are looking. They haven't had near the start they did last season, and the absence of Jathan Hatch, who's now playing ball at Louisville, the college, is really starting to show itself. Going to be tough for them to repeat at this point, but Independence looks good, man.
And I think you could probably write in chalk 4-1.
I think so.
Strayhorn coming up. I think that's a safe bet.
I agree. Independence. I expect them to come out of this week 4-1. East Union, the Urchins. Now, we said this team is a little hot and cold on offense, and lately they've just been hot. They are putting up the points. They're 3-1. Wins over Alcorn Central Bruce and Tupelo Christian. And their next game is against Mantachie. Now, Mantachie, an interesting case. I think they dropped one to Smithfield last week. But nonetheless, still not a bad team. Could be a really good game.
Another team that we have mentioned a lot. The only loss for East Union was to Moorville. So,
yes.
I mean, these teams we're looking at have all played each other essentially already. I mean, it's amazing when you look at that these teams are only sitting with like one loss. They're just beating up on each other as we're getting to that midway point in the season. And yeah, it'll be another fun one. Probably, in my opinion, though, one of the coolest mascots, the Urchins. I think that is absolutely awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I think the good thing is I like a bye where they're sitting at right about now. Week 5.
Yeah.
And then you get Mantachie, and then as we get closer, you get some district play. So I think
I like a good bye right here. Get healthy, get your mind right, get ready.
And the good thing is you come into the bye week with a dominating win, 49-14. Yeah, it was Alcorn Central, but
you still dominated.
Mind is in the right space.
Yeah, and you got the young guys some time. You probably got to rest some older guys in that game too. So a chance to really get healthy and be in good shape when you play Mantachie. Another team preview, and this one interests me, because I think highly of Itawamba. I think they've got great athletes. They're able to put up a lot of points. They skunked Lafayette. They beat Caledonia. They shut out both. They lose the first game of the season to New Hope. Was that a fluke? I don't know. But then on September 20th, this past week, they get riddled by New Albany. And I've said all year long, I think Braden Shettles is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the state. I think he's a better basketball player, but shout out Braden. I hope you see this. I played basketball with his older brother, Mitchell, who now plays at the Coast Guard Academy. Love the Shettles family. But he's got those guys rolling. New Albany is on a streak.
Don't you love a solid dual sport athlete?
Oh, God, yeah.
He, like you said, he is probably a little better at basketball. He's a ton of fun to watch on the court.
He maybe on paper he's better at football. I love watching the kid play basketball.
Yeah, he is. He's fun to watch play basketball, but when you started this out, I was curious how you were going to start it out, because you have been quite high.
I'm high on Itawamba. I think that Braden Shettles has just got this offense running.
Well, like you said, puts up a lot of points. This is another one of those teams that has already through 4 games and 1,000-yard passer in John Austin Woods. He's got 10 touchdown tosses. I mean, really having a solid season thus far, and maybe a little stronger competition towards the beginning of the season. And they've got Lewisburg up next. So
not great.
So we'll see where they go from there. But this has been a team you've been very high on all season long.
And I still think they can make it out of that division as the winners. You know, it's Amory, Ripley, Shannon, and Tisch.
Well, which is also a good thing. I mean, you're picking up losses right now out of district.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that prepares you for district. So, yes, you want to win them, but it's not the stuff that's going to hurt you in the long run.
Yeah. And then on into, just before the break here, a team that has been requested on TikTok since I don't know when. Kirk Academy. They're 5-0. I don't know why people are surprised that Kirk Academy is 5-0. I mean, the reality is what the reality is, but, I mean, they've put up a lot of points. A lot of points.
Had a close one last week, 17-14 to Marshall Academy.
And Marshall's really good. Marshall's a good team. But Kirk is currently 5-0. They play Carroll Academy this week, who's 1-4. Should improve to 6-0. I think Kirk really could make another deep run, potentially hold another trophy at the end of the year.
The way it's going, it seems that might be the case.
It does. It does. We're going to take a quick break and then get into our game of the week. And boy, am I excited. All that and more on the other side of this break here on the Magnolia Fields podcast.